there, BookTube, welcome back to my channel. When August started, we were smack dab in the middle of BookTubeathon, which means that I already had a TBR planned out for that week. So I didn't think about making or posting a video to share my TBR for the rest of the month. But now the BookTubeathon is behind us and I didn't succeed. If you watch my Readathon vlogs, you'll know that I was not successful in reading 7 books in 7 days, but the number of books that I did read, and I'm not going to tell you because you'll need to watch the vlogs for that, but it gave me the confidence to think that I could read more books for the month. And so this month, for the rest of August that is, I'm planning my TBR and I'm sharing it with you. But I thought I'd challenge myself for the entire month. So in choosing my August TBR, I came up with 10 categories and I'm gonna try to read a book that meets each one of those challenges. And so the first category that I'm challenging myself is to read a big book, a tome. Tome topple already happened in July, so I don't think there's another tome topple for a little while, but I'm challenging myself to read a tome anyway. And for that, I'm choosing Barry Unzort's Sacred Hunger. This is a Man Booker Prize winning novel, and it's over 600 pages long. I've had it on my TBR for a while. You know, I'm trying to read as many of the Man Booker Prize winning books as I can, as soon as I can. So this one is on my TBR for August because it is a tome. So that's my first category, a big book. Now to balance this off, I thought I should choose a small book. And so I have James Joyce's Dubliners. James Joyce is an Irish writer and he was active in the early 1900s. And I think I've read a couple of these stories. This is a short story collection set in Dublin. And I think I've read a couple of the stories, but I certainly haven't read the whole thing. This is 152 pages of short stories. I should be able to tackle this in an afternoon and be able to cross off James Joyce's name when I see his name or any of these stories on a list of books that I should have read already. So this is my small book to balance off my tome. My third book is I want to read something that's appropriate for children or middle graders because I do have a lot of children in my life and I'd like to be able to recommend books to them and talk to them about books that I've read recently and enjoyed and that they could also read. And so I picked up Pippi Longstocking by Astrid Lindgren recently. I mean, I think everyone knows the story of Pippi Longstocking, but I can't recall if I've ever read the book. And it's also a short book. It's only 160 pages and a small size as well. I used this cover to participate in the BookTubeathon Instagram challenge one day, and I'd love to be able to read the book now so we can talk more about it while I share my picture. If you haven't checked out my Instagram yet, now's a good time to check out my link. So this is my children/middle grade appropriate book. Challenge number 4 is to read a book that I should have read already. And so for that, I'm picking up Ernest Hemingway's The Sun Also Rises. Ernest Hemingway is an author that I studied when I was in high school. I think we read The Old Man and the Sea when I was in maybe the 9th grade. And I don't think I've read anything from him since. So I think it's time. I've owned this book for over a year. It's only 250 pages. I could read this in an afternoon. A summer afternoon in the park, on the beach. Ernest Hemingway, you and me. We're gonna do this. So this is a book that I should have already read, and after August I'll be able to say yes I have. Challenge number 5 is to read 2 nonfiction books, one that deals with a natural science and one that covers a social or cultural topic. And my cultural book is an anthropological sociological debate, Cows, Pigs, Wars and Witches by Marvin Harris, and I'm doing a buddy read of this one with a friend of mine who is a teacher. I haven't started reading the book yet, and we've already started having debates on what you think are established known facts but are really controversial topics that might not really be founded in fact. And I'm looking forward to reading this one and being able to back up my statements if they are correct, or learning something new in the process. For science, I have The Math Gene by Keith Devlin. This one discusses whether math is easier for some people and what part of our brain we use to engage with numbers, how we process and quantify computations, and whether that is something that is inherited or can be taught. I've read parts of this book before, but it's a topic that constantly fascinates me. So I think I want to read it again and have maybe some more debates with other people, maybe some of my students that I'm working with who keep telling me that they just can't do math. Maybe I'll learn something that I can debate them and get them to push themselves. Or maybe I'll just understand them better. We'll see. So this is on my nonfiction TBR as well as this one. Challenge number 6 is to read a short story collection, and for that I have Yasunari Kawabata's Palm of the Hand stories. He's a Nobel Prize winner for literature, and I'm not sure if you're aware because I wasn't until recently, but this year the Nobel Group is not awarding a prize for literature because of some controversy that happened with the Swedish Academy that judges the works of candidates for the Nobel Prize. And so I thought it would only be fitting for me to return to a previous Nobel Prize winner and read some of his works. So this is my pick for short story collection, challenge number 6. I said this would be my 6th challenge, but it's really my 7th because the nonfiction takes 2 spots. So this is my challenge number 7, and challenge number 8 is to read a book that was recommended to me by one of you guys, one of my subscribers. And so Lillian Nicewender will be happy to know that I'm finally getting to the Elegance of the Hedgehog by Muriel Barbary. She's told me about this book now for months. I finally went and got my own copy because I requested from the library and didn't get around to it. But I'm reading it in August. So this is challenge number 8, a book that was recommended to me by a subscriber. I like to take those recommendations seriously, so keep on sharing them, guys. Challenge number 9 is to read a new release, and for that I have Ghosted by Rosie Walsh. I can't remember why I requested this book at the library, but it came in on my reserves, and so I'm gonna read it. It comes highly recommended by Leanne Moriarty, who is one of my favorite contemporary women's fiction authors, and Leanne says I absolutely love this book and didn't want it to end. So I'm gonna see if I share Leanne Moriarty's opinions because I like her novels. I didn't like the last or most recent of her novels. I hope it's not her last because I hope there are more coming, but for now we're reading Ghosted by Rosie Walsh, and this is my new release. And it says this book is for anyone who has ever waited for the call that didn't come. I've been there. Have you? To balance out my new release, I'm going to read an old Backlist book, and for that I have A Confederacy of Dunces by John Kennedy O'Toole. And you can see the shape of this book. I got it from the library. I mean, this is not a book that I would have picked up myself anywhere, but I've wanted to check out this book. I'm not sure if I'm going to appreciate the humor, which is why I haven't bought my own copy yet. I want to at least check out a few chapters to see if I'm really going to get the brilliance that everyone says this book is before I commit to buying a copy, especially since it doesn't seem like you can get a used copy anywhere. But those are my 10 categories that I'm meeting for my TBR for August. And so these are the 10 books that I have on my sites for the month of August. Let me know if you would also like to join in my TBR. If you want to read a book from any of these categories, or if you want to do a buddy read, let me know. So we'll talk in the comments, and until next time, until we meet again right here, same place, maybe different time. Happy reading.